What is up, guys? So got a pretty interesting one here today. I got the CTS3, and Edge is running a promo on their EAS accessories, and the promo was if you buy a CTS3 you would get a EGT probe for free. So this just came in. You open this up and you open this, and you got some zip ties there to zip tie your expansion cable under the hood. And then in here, which I've already opened this up and linked it all together, but you have, this is your EGT probe. You have the cable that leads to the expansion, and you can, from the looks of this, you can run two different expansions. Like they have the EGT probe, turbo timer, EAS pressure sensor, EAS temp sensor, and the ambient temperature sensor, which my truck already has these, so don't really need to worry about that. I don't have a turbo timer, but again, you know, you can monitor your turbo temperature with the EGT. Well, you can't monitor the turbo temperature, but you can monitor your exhaust gas temperature with the EGT probe, and you should be able to kind of use that as a telltale sign about how hot your turbo is. A turbo timer basically just tells you, gives it a cool down time, that way you don't burn any seals out of your turbo or anything. But they also have this little pamphlet. It just kind of explains how to route it and such. Little chapped because it was supposed to come with a drill bit and the tap, and the kit didn't. I had to go buy these on my own. I got this at Rural King, and I just had this around. I picked it up at trying to think here, at Menards. This is like $8 and this was like $7. If you go out and buy this EGT kit on your own, it's going to run you about $160, $170, but it'll be really nice because you know, when you're towing, or if you're just lugging on a truck and running it pretty hot, you want to be able to monitor your exhaust gas, because, you know, depending on how hot your exhaust gas is, it could also lead to premature failure. You know, if you get it too hot, you melt the turbo down, burn seals out of it, burn bearings out. It's just a very good parameter to monitor. So basically what you're going to end up doing, I don't think it really matters which manifold you tap into, but every video I've watched and everything I've seen, everybody's tapped into the passenger side exhaust manifold. So it's going to be down in here. But basically, what I'm going to have to do is get a screwdriver and pull all these little tabs out, all these little push pins, and pull this fender liner out. And once I pull that fender liner out, I'll be able to see the exhaust manifold, and then I can bore my hole. You just want to be real careful. Pack it kind of the end of your drill bit and maybe up the flutes a little bit with grease, and just kind of drill slow. That way you can collect your shavings, because once you bust through, you do not want shavings getting in that exhaust manifold, because if it circulates back through your turbo, bad things are going to happen. So just be careful. And I'm also probably going to take a magnet once I get the actual hole drilled, and try and get the shavings out that way. But that being said, I'm going to get this fender liner out, and I'll get back with you guys here in a minute once I get that open, and we can start tapping into this exhaust manifold to get this thing hooked up. Alright, so I got the inner fender, and you can see in here, right there's that exhaust manifold. I am probably won't get it on camera. I don't want to pop this thing completely off yet. There's this little wire here, pop loose, and right there's my PCV reroute hose, and there's a LED pod light wire there for my LED underglaze. But anyways, I'm probably going to tap this exhaust manifold right here. Get the hole drilled, tap it, and you know, should just thread right in there, and then just be hooking up the cable. Right, so little update here. I got the the bit ran through. I think this was like a 25/64 or something like that, kind of weird size. And this is an 1/8 by 27 NPC, National Pipe Code tap. Be honest with you, I kind of had a hard time finding this. Lowe's didn't have it, Tractor Supply didn't have it, Menards didn't have it, but Rural King had it. So I get it where you can, right? So I got it, the hole tapped and cleaned out. I got a bunch of shavings out of it. I use this magnet here to kind of pull them off the tap, and plus I have my tap dipped in engine oil because I didn't have any grease handy. And so now this is the part of your EGT probe. Make sure you get the correct end. Yeah, it's a small end right here. It should, switch hands around here, it should pretty well start right into that hole, and there it goes. And you're going to want to I didn't get the tap all the way in, I just stopped right here to show for the video's purpose. So I need to finish tapping it. I want to make sure I get all these shavings cleaned off. But basically, once you get it finished tapped, run this down and then get it tight. Your probe goes through, tighten it up, run it up through here, run it up, hook it to your edge, and then zip tie your cables back, and should be pretty good to rock and roll. So give me just a minute and we'll give you an update. All right, so let me clean my lens off. Anyways, so I got the fitting put in, got it cinched down. A video I watched on YouTube said it's 15 mil. I just used a small crescent wrench to run that in. But basically, at this point, you just take your EGT probe, pop him in there, run that collar down tight. Find this guy, snug him down nice and tight. It's turning that, but that's okay. And I'll unplug. Josh 6 is going to throw a hissy fit as much as I keep flipping this camera around. Sorry I keep flipping the camera all different directions. I'm just trying to film and work at the same time, and sometimes you don't really pay that grave attention to that part of it. But what I'm doing here, get these cables loosened up just a little bit so I can show you what I'm doing. Basically, I'm just loosening this from the expansion module so I can twist nut to release. Turn it that way. Right. Twist in the right direction. I'm just going to loosen this up, that way I can run it up through here easier. I could just, well, I just put the whole shebang through. Not too hard, right? Came loose off the collar. Now I got it loose, I don't want to do it that way. I'll just poke this up through next to my fuel filter, someplace where I can grab it through the top nice and easy, right? You have to sit there for a minute. Alright, there it is. Crap. I'll flip it around again. There it is. And basically, pull this guy up through here. Loosen this twisty tie off of it. Excuse me, my fiance and her brother are out here hanging out. My soon-to-be mother-in-law. But I will just zip tie this off nice and secure where I don't have to worry about it getting hot or rubbing or touching or anything. And I'll run this over here, zip tie it right under here, and there's a grommet that runs up underneath of the driver's side of the cab. And then I'll just take that cable and poke it through and tie it into this part. It just has a plug in, it plugs right into here, and we should be able to read exhaust gas temperature at that point. So I'll get that done and show you the results. All right, y'all, I am done and I am hot. Moment of truth. Let me see here. Figure out how to read edit layout. So screen 1. Looking for exhaust gas temperatures. That one says it's showing select exit. Let's see if it did anything there. No. Do I need to save? We'll save it as 2. I tried to save one earlier. Save it. And let's go back. See if we're reading EGTs. Still engine speed. EAS settings. Here we go. Add an EAS. I did. Alright, for some reason it's not reading that up, so I need to Google, see if there's something I'm not doing right here, and I'll get back with you. Alright, got it figured out. So, I read a thing online that you need to disconnect where it plugs to that. You need to unplug this and then plug that in, and then let it reboot. When I did, this came up. New EAS been detected. Would you like to configure now? Yes. EAS EGT. Select it. Display name. EGT. Temp. We'll do all caps on the temp. Crap. That way it's nice and easy to see. Save. And save. Now she's reading in. Saving that information. And my phone screen. Camera seems blurry. Okay, exit. Gauges and logging. Hopefully it's there. If not, we might have to do that all over again and try and figure out what the problem is. Getting PIDs from vehicle. Double click on your gauge and it'll give you a gauge editor. EGT temp. Save. There it be. Let's start truck. And that should come up. pretty quick, I'd imagine. Nah, it's getting there. Oh yeah. Start running some nice hot gas through there. Yeah, I saw a really weird parameter too, engine coolant temp. I'm not 100% sure what that APP is, but you know what? I saw a really cool intake hardware, fuel, engine, emissions, electrical, all kinds of options there. There was a horsepower one here somewhere. Maybe it was under the basic PID list. Boost, EGT temp, horsepower. There she be. I wonder what that'll do. This vehicle weight is needed for this PID to be accurate. Do wish to enter vehicle weight. According to the door sticker, it weighs 9,200 pounds. Which, granted, this will be at idle. Well, we're not moving, so ain't gonna read. Anyways, well, glad we got that figured out. Starting to wonder there for a second, but we got it. So, highly recommend an Edge. They're great. You can pull your balance rates for your injectors, and just altogether pretty good for monitoring your information on your truck. So we'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.